Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Mr. Corbett. I'm the college counselor of IDEA Brownsville. If you're watching this video, then kudos to you. I did give the link to this update in the Parent Weekly, and I may get maybe more than 5 views. If not, that's okay. And if you're one of those 5 who did watch this, or maybe the only one who watches this, great for you, and thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to start off every one of these videos with just a little small little education, a small little lesson on college counseling. Let's see, can we see this? Colleges look for 5 things. The number one thing that they look for, by far the most important, is GPA, your grades. That's the most important thing. Then they look for tests, essays, extracurriculars, and recommendations. I'm not sure if in the video this is backwards, but if it's backwards, hopefully that you can, well, I just said them, so I think you're okay. GPA is the number one thing, and these 4 things the importance varies depending on the school. Maybe a math and science oriented school will focus more on the tests, the standardized test scores, the ACT and the SAT. If you're going to more liberal arts school, maybe the essays, your personal voice, the student's personal voice may shine a little bit more than the standardized tests. I'm going to be talking a little bit about extracurriculars here, and that is if you're involved in your church, if you're involved in a sport. But another thing that involves extracurriculars is community service. And so the focus this week was on community service in the Parent Weekly. All students will need 128 hours in high school prior to graduation. So for 8th grade families, as soon as that last bell rings, we don't have bells, but as soon as the last day in 8th grade ends, then those students are 9th graders, and so they can accrue any hours the summer before their 9th grade. That's a common question. I heard a lot of 8th grade families and students asking me, can I get hours now? And the answer is no. It does need to be in your high school time. So for community service hours, I recommend students to try to get some over the summer and try to get as many as you can freshman year. I'm recommending students get 50 hours their freshman year. Junior and senior years are going to be much more busy with writing college applications, with a much more rigorous course load, the IB, International Baccalaureate course load. And so we want the students to get it out of the way and to save time for their studies in later years. Now, I do also think that community service is an important part of developing students' other competencies, especially those that align with the IB learner profile. So what we're doing at this school is all 9th grade students in their AVID class are starting their CAS project. Now, the CAS, that acronym, Creativity, Activity, and Service, that acronym comes from the International Baccalaureate project that the students will be doing junior and senior year. Basically, and there's a 64-page manual on this, and I got to explain it in less than 30 seconds. But basically what it is a student picks a passion, a pursuit that they want to put some time in. It could be a student wants to learn how to play the violin, and they somehow acquire a violin, they practice, they record their hours, they reflect on their learning, and that can be their project. It can be something that they want to develop, it can be something that they're already good at and they want to continue to develop. So our 9th grade students, in addition with that, it can also be a community service project. It just has to be something creative, something with activity, that's more like the physical activity, or it could be a service-related project. Now, our 9th grade students, we're doing that. We're doing a miniature version of what they're going to be doing junior and senior year, and the junior and senior year project takes 1.5 years. In 9th grade, we're doing a miniature version of this, but it has to be related somehow to serving the community. The reason why is because I want to enable our students to get some community service hours freshman year, so we're not scrambling junior and senior year and they've got 0. Think about if a student had 0 hours going into senior year. They would need at least almost 1 hour a day of community service. and no one has time for that. So I'm trying to enable our ninth grade students to get as many hours as possible early on in their high school careers. And these projects can be arranged. There's a lot of really interesting ones. There's some projects of helping out the academy with tutorials or sports team. And one of my favorite projects, the students have a meeting this Saturday with a retirement home. Hopefully they're going to host a senior prom. So they're going to have host a dance for senior citizens at a retirement home. We'll see where that goes. Maybe they're just going to volunteer their time, but it's a very exciting, interesting project. If you have any questions, I know that I gave you a ton of information in 6 minutes, and I'd be happy to explain or elaborate on anything that I've been talking about. And my number is 956-678-7617. It is also in the Parent Weekly. I respond better with text. I get a lot of random 956 phone numbers, and a text message is much easier for me. Or you can email me at william.corbett@ideapublicschools.org. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.